And I was trying to think of whether or not I was going to give you another cultural, lesson. You sure? Okay. So we have this other tradition, and I'll try to make it quick, called the Mardi Gras Indians. And this is a thing where these guys, they dress up in these beautiful costumes with ostrich feathers and, multiple colors and little bitty tiny beads that are sewed in with dental floss, like millions of beads, and there's big, beautiful tapestries and stuff like that. Well, this tradition started out way back in slavery days. You see, back then, some slaves, they would plan for months and years, their escape. But some of them, they'd seize the moment. The moment happened and boom, they seize the moment. And, they run from the south to get up north. And it was a real hard and arduous journey. And lots of them didn't make it, but lots of them did. And the reason many of them made it was because they would run into these Native American Indians. And these Native American Indians would take them in. They'd usually be battered and bruised, and they would nurse them back to health. They would show them how to make shoes for their feet and show them how to forage for food. Little easy things like, taking a fallen tree log or something like that and just rolling it over and eating the insects, under there. They would show them the different vegetation, which was poisonous, which was medicinal, things that they could eat and stuff like that. And they'd show them how to make, forage for fish, like make a pole and stuff like that for fish. And one of the main things they taught them was the road to freedom. You see, so they could go more directly. And because of those Native American Indians, many of those former slaves made it to freedom. And they did not forget the Indians. They would tell their children and their grandchildren how the Native American Indians helped them to make it to freedom. So we have this tradition in New Orleans that's called the Mardi Gras Indians, and they parade twice a year. They parade on Mardi Gras Day, and they parade on St. Joseph's Day, which is March 19th, which is also Lawrence's birthday. And, if I had thought about it, I would have brought you some flyers so you could see, but you could just look up Mardi Gras Indians and you would be amazed. These guys, they sew the suits themselves. So, and they're pretty arrogant too. So they not only do they have big, beautiful ostrich feathers in many colors, but they have these tapestries on their chest and on their pelvis. And these tapestries, like I said, they're three-dimensional. They're made. They draw on them first. They draw whatever picture they want to, and then they sew these tiny beads on there and make these beautiful, beautiful, symbols of themselves because they made the suit. So if he was a warrior, or something like that, then he had pictures of him, and in battle. If he was a fisherman or a chef or a doctor or anything else like that. And the Mardi Gras Indians, they're in tribes. So you have the chief, you have his squaw, which is the queen, you have the medicine man, you have, which is the doctor. You have the witch doctor, which is the weatherman, and you have all of these different people. You have the spy boy, you have the flag boy, and it's all around. When they parade, the saying is, we won't bow down. So Indian tribes, they march on the street and they don't stop for traffic. Traffic stops for them. The only thing Mardi Gras Indian tribes stop for when they're in parade mode is another Indian tribe or a train. That's it. Because trains, they take a while to stop, so ain't nobody crazy. All right, so when they meet, and this is how it used to be, when the Mardi Gras Indian tribes meet, and the reason they know they're about to meet is because you have your spy boy and your flag boy. You see, your spy boy, he's the athlete of the tribe. He runs out maybe 6 or 5 or 6 blocks ahead of the tribe, and he's scouting for feathers, you see? And if he sees some feathers, then he's going to count and see how many feathers there are and, what the tribe looks like, how big it is, how small it is, or something like that. And then he's going to flag to the flag boy. Now, he's going to give signals to the flag boy. And the flag boy is between the spy boy and the Indian chief. And the flag boy is going to read whatever he says, and he's going to take it back to the chief. And so the chief will know just from the spy boy, who is a half a mile away almost sometimes, that there's an Indian tribe coming. They're coming from the east. They're about 50 deep, and all this other stuff is absolutely fabulous. Well, the reason he needs to know that is because what they used to do is when Indian tribes meet, they would do battle. And these wouldn't be symbolic battles. These would be real battles. They would have guns and knives and chains. And they would actually, after spending all that time making the suit, they would actually fight and get them all bloodied up and stuff. And it was just horrible. And lots of wives and stuff would be home worried because their husbands would be out there masking as Indians. Well, this all went on for a long time until this big, well-known, well-loved Indian chief named Tootie Montana, he brought all of the chiefs together. And they made a pact that instead of fighting, because it's such a wonderful tradition, they would do symbolic wars, symbolic battles. So nowadays, when you see two Indian tribes meet, it's an absolute thing of beauty. Now it's very aggressive. They're very aggressive. They talk about each other and stuff like that, and they do a lot of waving of the hands and stuff like that. But they only touch each other at the end, and it's to hug. It is so wonderful and heartwarming. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to see that, of course, technology, you could see it like as soon as you look it up on YouTube. But it's wonderful. It's absolutely beautiful. But now you know what you're looking at. You see what I'm saying? Well, they have their own language, their own music, and we're going to do something called Mardi Gras Aiko. This song was made famous back in the 60s by a musical group called the Dixie Cups. And so, they have their own language, and this one's called Mardi Gras Aiko. And if you don't mind, I'd like to do some audience participation. How many of y'all can say "eh nah"? So I'll say, let me hear you sing "eh nah, eh nah, eh nah, Aiko, Aiko one day," and then you clap your hands twice like that. All right, and when you say "eh nah," all you're saying is "hey y'all, hey now," and the song, the words to the song are "Jakimo fino anane, Jakimo finane," and what it basically means is "hey y'all, hey now, here comes my big chief, get the heck out of the way." So here we go, y'all. We're about to do Aiko together. Here we go. Never seen. Talking about me, let me sing, Yes, indeed, I'm so spoiled, Dr. Lawrence, that it gets singing, y'all. Well, I'm a black boy, you're black boy, sitting by the fire. My black boys are your black boy. I'm gonna set your flag on fire. I go one day. Zagi mo pino holiday. Zagi mo pinande last time. I go one day. Whoa, zagi mo pino holiday. And thank you again very much. That was great, y'all.